Hello, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Side Stories. All right, it's time for Respect Part 2. And I guess my thoughts on the first episode is that this feels a little bit more Monika-centric than Natsuki-centric so far. I'm curious to see if that holds throughout this second part. Because honestly, Natsuki was barely in that first sequence. She joined the club, Monika pissed her off, and mostly we kind of looked internally at Monika's understanding of the situation. And she coped so hard with herself through it that she ended up probably discovering the joys of manga. And so we mostly covered her side of the issue and what things she would need to do to recognize what's really going on with her. It's really more about her than any particular problem with Natsuki. And she was sort of glancing at that discovery near the end. So let's dive into Respect Part 2. And I need my own side story with Miarin, who needs to learn a couple of these things. Trust that my attention for other things will eventually circle back to you. Little creature is boundless for you and only finite for everything else. Understanding that sometimes when I am speaking aloud, it is not always for you, little kitten. And respect that this is my microphone. It's not your microphone. Oh, who am I kidding? It is, of course, your microphone. The whole world is yours. I don't even know why I put that in question. Okay. Respect Part 2. My favorite thing about the side stories so far has been the way that the music drops in with these new songs. And thank goodness my fears are alleviated instantly. We get to spend some more time with Natsuki. Can you stop? It was just nipping at my shirt. I don't know why I try. I don't even know why I give it any effort at all. Okay, you can stay. This sucks. Why is Monika such a jerk? She should be grateful that I even joined her stupid club. It's not like she can find any members. What is Sayori, chopped liver? Monika's usually really nice. She cares so much about everyone in the club being happy. Yeah, right. Well, she usually does. Maybe when she's not busy being so judgmental. So what if I'm into manga? Why can't just one person accept that instead of being so condescending about it? I accept it. Your chopped liver, Sayori. She doesn't need your approval. She needs Monika's. I think it's cute. Oh, come on. That's condescending too. Maybe there is something to that as well. Like Sayori's validation or respect is, well, it's not a deficit for her the way that it seems to be for Monika. And maybe that's just because Monika is in charge and everything that's going on at home for her, the idea of another authority figure that comes in with a lot of judgment, displays ignorance up front, and causes yet another attempt for Natsuki to find a safe space for herself and her manga, of course, to feel unsafe and unwelcoming. She won't stand for this. But Sayori, like, she's not an authority figure. She's not very difficult to impress. And she's basically guaranteed to accept anything about you without any friction. In her scenes with Yuri, we saw that being overly accepting up front was actually kind of a tension point. Yuri doesn't want other people to adjust to her idiosyncrasies. Natsuki, on the other hand, this is important for her. If not that they adjust to her interests, like suddenly everyone starts liking manga, but they have to at least give her the respect to enjoy it on her own without judgment. At the same time, like, what I'd hope to see from someone like Natsuki is more acceptance that it's okay if people, one, don't really care for what you do or like, but two, actively dislike it. Like, it's okay that people don't care about it, and it's okay that they don't like it. That shouldn't affect your enjoyment of something. But I do understand that, like I said, it's so closely tied to her personality. And then we come back to some of these ideas of diffusion. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I just want to support you. Natsuki sighs. I know. Thanks. It just really sucks. I missed her poutiness. I missed so many things about Natsuki, actually. Do you want me to talk to Monica? I don't know. It's not like it's going to change her opinion of me. Like, even if you were to convince her to back off, it wouldn't suddenly make me feel like I'm actually welcome in the club. I should just find another club. The thing is both of them want to put everything on the other person here. Maybe Monica's cooling down from that, like we saw at the end of the last episode. But Natsuki, she is not really considering Monica's perspective here. It's not like she came in and said that she likes manga, and Monica was like, that's stupid, and you're stupid for liking it. You don't belong here. It was her own insecurities about whether that was a good fit, and I think some friction with Natsuki's kind of big personality that made her question the fit. But she wasn't outright mean about it. She just sort of became more passive-aggressive over time, which isn't great. But she's not clued into the history that we know about Monica, that this is like kind of everything to her. It's actually kind of relatable. Like, manga is the safe haven for Natsuki's individuality at home and elsewhere. And the club is... It has been a place where Monica both gets to create something worthwhile for herself and other people. And she has learned to be accepting of her limitations and not so controlling, and find friends through that. Like, of course, it's very precious to her. I think she does deserve a second impression from Natsuki as well. She strikes me as the type of person who has a hard time parting ways with first impressions. Wait, you don't have to do that. We can figure this out. Please? I mean, I'm the vice president. Or at least I think I am. And I don't want you to leave. Everyone deserves to feel welcome and to be happy. So I want to make that happen. For you. I was wondering, what was the reason that you decided to join the literature club? Well, Natsuki hesitates. It's kind of dumb. Don't say that. There's no such thing as a dumb reason when everyone is welcome. I wasn't welcome. She is so fucking pouty. You were to me, so just don't tell anyone, okay? Especially Monica. I promise. Natsuki sighs. I'm just tired of everyone judging me all the time. I can't enjoy any of the stuff I'm into without people making snotty comments about it. Not that I care what anyone else thinks. But you know, the signs of the literature club said that you can be yourself, or whatever. So I decided it was at least worth a shot. That was a lie, apparently. Natsuki dejectedly kicks the toe of her shoe against the wall. Well, that is true, although it's a bit of a double standard. Like, it's fine to want to be yourself. We all like Natsuki for exactly who she is. But it's true that some of her is not immediately digestible on a first impression. Like, she doesn't make the best first impression either, in some ways. You're in the presence of a very unique person in Sayori who no personal modification of yourself is required to be compatible with. But that's not going to be the case for everyone. Like, relationships with Yuri and Monica are going to be more complicated, as any relationship with Natsuki would be. Oh, and I like writing too. Really? How come you didn't say that to Monica? Because she was being so judgmental that I didn't just want to tell her something that she wanted to hear. Yeah, what I said in the last episode about it becoming competitive. They're both the same in that way. They're now competing for who should Respect one another. She didn't deserve that kind of satisfaction. And if she knew I was into writing, then she would just be like everyone else and try to push me away from the manga in favor of the more mature thing. The two of them remained silent for a while. Sayori understands that it's out of the question for Natsuki to return to the club room for today, at least. But Natsuki has a reason for wanting to join the club, just like everyone else. It's part of the club vision for her to be welcome. You deserve to express yourself as much as everyone else does. That's supposed to be what the club is for. So, I'm gonna do everything I can to fix this. I promise. She's such a good vice president. Look at her, like, jumping in to help solve the problem in a way that is not defaulting to people-pleasing. Good job, Sayori. Not even in your own episode. Making progress. Love that. We love that for her. Now, my question is, the other side stories in the second part, we've gotten a new cutscene. And they've been quite intimate in previous episodes. Sayori and Monica tearfully embracing each other. Sayori comforting Yuri on the classroom floor. I kind of don't know what to expect from a Natsuki-Monica cutscene, because neither of them are overly affectionate that way. I think Monica around Sayori made a little more sense. I guess the most I expect from them is like a handshake or something. I don't know. I'm ready to be surprised. It's lunchtime the next day. The cafeteria and hallways are bustling with students, rushing to meet with their friends and make the most out of their limited break time. Where could she be? Among them is Monica, who always eats lunch in her classroom, but she has some additional business today. Fearing Natsuki would avoid coming to the club, Monica decided to try to find her during lunch so that she could make amends. I like that. I like that a lot. I especially like the word amends because I know that a lot of people struggle with these kinds of confrontations, and going to someone to apologize to them or to make an amends is a confrontation. Confrontation doesn't have to be aggressive, right? It's assertive. And my feeling about the word amends is that it is not about identifying fault. It's about recognizing the impact that your choices have had on someone else and stating clearly that you recognize that impact and do not wish for it. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe you've changed in some ways. Like, it seems like Monica's ready to talk about a change in perspective that she's had about Natsuki. And I actually learned a lot about this word working with people going through recovery from substance use, because a lot of them were involved in 12-step or other programs that help people repair relationships and aspects of themselves. And I never saw that stuff as like incompatible with the therapeutic work that's also surrounding some of those things. They can run in parallel. And so I was mostly an observer to people going through like the 12-step program or whatever else. But there was an aspect of it that was really inspiring to me, which is that at some point, and I don't know exactly which steps, but you take a moral inventory, which is deep introspective work on identifying your character flaws and all of that sort of stuff. And you list out any resentments that you're holding on to, and you're really kind of systematically exposing yourself to what can be confronting things about who you were in addiction and some of the things that you did. But there's a stage of that process where you make amends to the people that you feel you've wronged. Sometimes the amends is with a family member, and that's a person you have access to. And sometimes it's not. It's like a stranger that like you remember doing something wrong to. And I've seen all kinds of ways of making amends, from letter writing to, you know, sending a check in the mail and saying, hey, I stole from you 5 years ago. I'm just paying it forward. And it's this process of trying to make right your wrongdoings. And so that's a nice sentiment. You know, it's essentially an apology. But what I learned from talking to and working with people who were going through this process is that making an amends isn't about explaining yourself, and it's not about relitigating what happened. It's not asking for permission or forgiveness or anything. And the theme that I would hear often is that if you're going to make an amends to someone, you have to be sure that bringing up the painful subject or event or whatever isn't going to cause more damage than if you would have just let things be. So it can't just be about you, like, I just need to get this off of my chest. It has to be restorative in some way for the other person. If it's going to cause them more harm, then it's really just about you. Like, you may be a painful figure in their life to the point that apologizing doesn't do anything for them. Sometimes it's better to just let things be, work on yourself, and do your best to live in principle differently than how you behave towards this person. So I say all that to point out that it was a very decentering of the ego process to make an amends in that space. You are making yourself very vulnerable to aspects of yourself that were painful to this other person. And this is not a very serious issue between the two of them, but it shows a lot of maturity on Monica's behalf and a lot of esteem that I can admit a wrongdoing and make myself vulnerable to someone and bear the consequences or judgments of that person. Like, I'm willing to take those hits, basically, because this relationship is important to me. So good on Monica for that. After searching for an extensive time, Monica finally spots her. Despite her short stature, Natsuki's bright hair helps her stand out from the crowd. Gosh. Suddenly feeling awkward, Monica is afraid to get closer. Natsuki's with some friends whom Monica doesn't recognize, and they're all energetically chatting together. It would be really tactless to just interrupt them. Yeah, it actually would be. Oh yeah, did you end up joining that literature club? Or what? Huh? Of course I joined. Why wouldn't I? Ha! I told you she would join. Come on, you know she only joined because you wouldn't stop giving her crap about the anime club. I told you, I never even wanted to join that stupid club. Oh, sure. We have to give her some credit for at least making an effort to finally grow past that trash. True. Well, congrats on finally graduating middle school, Natsuki. We're proud of you. Oh, this is brutal. This is violence. Shut up. Just let me do my thing. No wonder this girl has such a chip on her shoulder. She's literally surrounded by social supervillains. I'm just joking. You know we love you. Yeah, once the literature club makes you a famous writer, we'll be the first ones to buy your book. What, you're gonna buy her smutty fan fiction? Well, obviously, I want a signed copy. that dang, exposed. That was years ago. You don't think I've grown out of it by now? I told you, I was joking. Besides, it's a good reminder of how far you've come since then. Not to mention, you couldn't have done it without us. That gives us a pass to joke about it. Yeah, sure. Dude, she needs some new friends. ASAP. It's like kind of a whiplash, really, to have spent so much time around people like Sayori, who immediately embrace you for who you are, and like fumbles in her own quirky way, but well, it's one thing to joke with your friends. It's okay, really. We all do it. But they're not realizing that this actually does bother her. Yeah, if you can't pick up on that, then no wonder she feels bad. They grow up so fast. It brings a tear to my eye. Natsuki suddenly glances in Monika's direction, prompting Monika to quickly turn away and distance herself. What the heck? That was horrible. I should have said something to defend her. I don't have to be so conflict avoidant. Not that I deserve to say anything. I'm hardly better than them, after the way I treated her. Ugh. I'm so awful. I'm not doing anything right. I think it was important for her to see that, though, because what a contrast. Monika, for her own faults, was at worst confused about Natsuki and how to handle her and their differences, but she wasn't actively hostile towards them. Passive-aggressive in how she handled it, yes. But she's many steps removed from people who are Natsuki's friends or whatever, knowing that she cares deeply about manga, or I guess if they are not really that attentive, wouldn't know that it's so integral to her personality and her sense of safety and being herself and all of that. To either know that and ignore it and dogpile on her anyways, or to have completely missed those elements of her, I think are both substandard demonstrations of friendship, which I think Monica has already surpassed just by what she's already attempted. After school ends, Monica distractedly makes her way to the club room, which, yeah, like her willingness to go and make an amends. You have to be willing to recognize that my own judgments about you are flawed, or they at least cannot be complete. And so I can't claim to know exactly how what I did impacted you. That she came to this realization on her own is really, I think, a testament to her moral center that she wanted to do this. She finds Yuri already inside, eyes on a book as usual. Monica picks a desk and slumps into it, something she seems to be doing rather often lately. Signs of exhaustion from an overfunctioner. Yuri, I don't think I can be club president. I do love how much she confides in Yuri, though, as if like... I mean, she's getting something out of it. Yuri has a uniquely unfiltered perspective that she offers, which I think benefits Monica in some ways, but it's not always a dynamic perspective. Like, it's pretty... Yuri sees it her way, and yeah, I think that has value too. I suck at handling anything that doesn't go, like, exactly my way. Yuri looks up from her book. It's like, the literature club is a place where you get to express yourself. Unless it's a way that I don't like. I'm so mad at myself. And I'm especially mad that I didn't have the self-reflection skills to realize what I was doing. So much for maturity. The ongoing theme of these side stories, though, does seem to be an inability to capture one's own assets in moments like this. Because here I am like, wow, that's very mature of Monica to start the process of making an amends. Like, the fact that you decided to do it and were on your way to do it, that's something worth recognizing. But she's already decided that she doesn't have the maturity for it. And what the fuck are you talking about, Monica? You're especially mad that you didn't have the self-reflection skills to realize what I was doing. Reflection usually happens after you do something. It's retroactive. It's okay that you only discovered after that what you were doing was like problematic in some way. Or just having an unintended result, causing an issue. The thing is, you do have the self-reflection skills. There are other things at work than your own cognitive prowess and your ability to see all versions of the past, present, and future. Like, you expect something cosmic from yourself, and then are disappointed when you perform even above the average at things. Get it together, girl. You're doing all right. Sorry, I shouldn't be complaining out loud like this. There's just like a lot on my mind. No. I enjoy listening. Really? Why? Yuri shrugs. It just makes me feel nice. Well, it's nice to be confided in. Regardless of whether Monica knows she's doing it, she's showing a lot of respect for Yuri by demonstrating that she trusts her input. Oh, well, okay. I guess I'll just continue then. Yuri nods. Yeah. Well, Natsuki has kind of a blunt attitude, you know? It made me feel like she wasn't taking the club seriously. I couldn't even figure out why she wanted to join. I saw her friends talking to her in the hallway during lunch, and just so mean to her. Telling her to grow up and stuff like that. That the literature club would help her grow out of her manga. It just made me so mad. Like, just let her enjoy it. It makes her happy. Why are you trying to take that away from her? It's great. It's a great observation. And when I had that thought, it was when I came to the realization that I was kind of doing the same thing, just in a roundabout way. Like I said, the distinction is that her friends, Natsuki's friends, they either know that this is a sore spot and choose to joke about it anyways, or they don't know, which means they're not very perceptive because it's kind of obvious. You've picked up on this quick enough, I think, Monica, to make your amends and still repair things. I should have made her feel good about being passionate about something, but I just dismissed it. No, I was actually trying to avoid acknowledging it at all. I even did that with you, Yuri, when you first joined the club. You did? Yeah, I remember. Fantasy isn't really my thing, so I was kind of trying to dismiss it. But then Sayori jumped in and took over the conversation. Sayori is the equalizer in all of these relationships. I should have reflected on that, but I didn't, because I just let Sayori handle it instead. Once again, we find Monica with this paradox, which is that she highly personalizes all of her faults. Like, if she made a bad judgment about someone or an early judgment, then it's her fault for being not mature or self-reflective enough. If something's not right with the club, it's because she's not as much in control as she should be. If she feels bad herself, it's because she's like falling short of her own expectations. Like, she's very good at personalizing all of those things, but cannot seem to personalize one good thing about herself. Maybe on occasion. Now, why is that? Why do we have an easier time personalizing negative traits and a very difficult time identifying and personalizing with good things? Like, why isn't it just the case that we say, oh yeah, that good thing happened because I made this decision and I'm at the center of it? Just in the same way that we do that with negative stuff? Well, the scientific answer is basically that negative things trigger an automatic response from our mind to treat them as threats against our survival, whether that be literal or social or whatever. You're much more likely to notice negative things because it automatically grabs your attention. When something startles you, you immediately allocate a lot of your focus to it. Positive things don't automatically trigger that same level of heightened awareness, and so it's easy to overlook them. You have to be a lot more conscious and intentional about capturing them, which is why so much of the asset-focused questioning is relevant here. It doesn't happen automatically usually to say, wow, I did a great job there. We usually have to spend some time consolidating that idea, where it's very easy to jump to that, oh, this is how bad things went, here's how much I failed. So that's normal, that's okay, that's your survival instinct. All it means is that you have to spend more of your resources self-reflecting about good things about yourself. You have to think about that stuff. Spend time on it. Don't feel bad that you're doing it. Guys, girls, everyone in between, please spend some time reflecting on what is good about you. You're already doing enough of the negative stuff. You don't even have to intentionally do that. But you do have to put effort into being good to yourself, treating yourself well, and thinking about what's good about you. Because if you don't, you sort of end up with a negativity bias, a greater mind share of attention on your worst qualities. And then it starts to feel stupid to think about doing anything right. I've already kind of touched on how, Monica's perfectionism is like very ineffective actually at making her feel good. For being so dependent on being a perfectionist, it's not like the more she struggles to control and perfect everything, the greater her satisfaction. It actually only deepens her dissatisfaction, usually. Why does she have so many self-esteem issues because of that? Well, she's not so good at the self-reflection part of positive traits. You can even see here, she's thinking I should have reflected on that, on how I was judgmental. I should have spent more time beating myself up over how bad of a club president I was. And it's like, girl, maybe, yes, you should think about that too. It's okay that you missed it. You should also spend some time thinking about how you organized this whole thing to begin with. How you goddamn nearly saved Sayori's life. And you've given Yuri this like amazing environment to try out difficult social skills that she's very appreciative of. Okay? Like, spend not all your time. You can think about bad stuff too, but like I said, you're gonna get that for free just by being alive. Spend some active time, though, recognizing your grace and maturity and friendliness, okay? Because those can also steer you towards the same interventions you need. I need to go make amends to Natsuki. Why? For multiple reasons. One, because you were judgmental like her shitty friends, and because you've learned that to be a good club president is also to be a good friend to people. Like, you could be motivated by that too. You don't have to just be motivated by, gosh, I gotta beat myself up enough to do something different. Fuck! This is so hard, though, to convince people that it is worth your time to do. And now, I'm repeating the same mistake. Except, I really hurt someone this time. Monica shakes her head. Now again, here is a moment where it would be well-intended, but not so effective for me to say all this stuff to Monica. I'm saying it to you because you are observing, as I am, this scene. And Monica's in her own head with this. Like, she's not open to listening to me say how mature and graceful and kind she is. Not in a moment of feeling the opposite of those things. That's why you just go with the asset-focused questions. Monica, how did you decide that you needed to go make an amends with Natsuki? Well, I looked at manga and I realized it's, not the worst thing ever. And even before she saw the friends being shitty, she was on her way to do the amends. So she clearly thought about it. I realized that I wasn't making the club a welcoming place. Okay. In this moment that you're comparing yourself to doing the same thing as those other friends, can you imagine for a moment if they would have done those things? Would you see those people you saw in the hallway having those same experiences? Reading the manga and forming a new opinion about it, deciding to go confront Natsuki with an amends, feeling the urge to be defensive towards Natsuki, someone who you actively disliked a day before. Can you imagine those two catty girls in the hallway doing that? No, probably not. Well, there's your distinction. You're not like those girls, Monica. You're nicer than them, actually. And that would be a much more natural way to discover that she's not as bad as them. Sure, you can regret how you came off to Natsuki at first. I've already spoken about how I often regret the first impression I give off. But don't start convincing yourself that you're like just as bad or worse. It's the opposite. Your level of consideration and patience with yourself and willingness to like engage with your own opinion and change it is, it's in a class above. I'm so tired of being afraid of things I'm not comfortable with. It's so stupid. Every single episode has just been like, I say something that they're great at, and then they immediately say that they're terrible at it. Like, I can just picture how much joy it would bring Natsuki if I let her share her passion a little. I'm so angry that her friends were treating her like that. I'm gonna get them back for it. What? Get them back? Yeah. I'll get them back by making sure that this is the literature club that Natsuki wants, not the one that they want. Suddenly, Sayori bursts through the door, making Monica and Yuri jump. With a rare, stern face, she marches over to Monica's desk and sits down next to her. I'm having an intervention. I can do that because I'm vice president. Go, girl. Is this about Natsuki? Yes. Yeah, I know. I messed up. I'm super sorry. I was just talking to Yuri about it. Really? I was so dismissive of her passion that she felt threatened and probably just unwelcome. What a great synthesis of what happened. No intervention required, really. But how quickly you arrived to that when you started looking inward, which I actually do think is partially because of a number of things I talked about in the last episode. Monica came to this discovery after doing what? taking some time away to really think through things, seeing Natsuki's other friends be kind of shitty, and then talking her thoughts out with Yuri, like, these very likely helped to clarify and stabilize Monika's heightened emotions, helped her see more clearly what the issue was, her part in it, and it's brought her down out of her overfunctioning hyper-arousal, and look how much clarity she has about the situation now. Literally the opposite of what the literature club is supposed to be. I really need to make it up to her. Oh. Yay, I did it! That's fucking great. Sayori, you're incredible. You did it all by yourself. Thanks for the intervention, Sayori. I'm glad we're on the same page. Friendship wins again. You're goddamn right. So how do you want to make it up to her? I have a plan. Sayori, do you know if Natsuki's coming to the club meeting today? She's... I don't think she is. I see. Monika was afraid of that. Not because of her plan, but because she's facing the consequences of the damage she's inadvertently caused. But the only way to do the right thing is to face it head on. It's so easy to just duck away from conflict and wait for it to blow over. But that's not enough. To truly respect someone's feelings after you've hurt them is to face them and admit your wrongdoing. Not the wrongdoing of mismanaging the club, but the wrongdoing of disrespecting Natsuki's feelings. Okay. Do you think you can get her to come to the meeting tomorrow? I can do that. Okay, awesome. Yuri, you don't have to worry about anything, but thank you for being my friend. You're a good listener. Fidgeting with her hair, Yuri turns away to hide a smile. It's so nice to see the literature club come together like this. Well, I guess for today, it's going to be a pretty quiet club meeting. I'm going to step out for a bit. Is that okay? Yeah, I'm just going to read with Yuri. Hey, is this one of Natsuki's books? Come, it's out here. Sayori picks up a manga that was resting on an adjacent desk. Oh, that? Natsuki probably just left it out by accident. But I thought she hasn't been coming to the club. Actually, Monika's been... Okay, Yuri, I'm sure it was just someone else who was using this classroom then. Okay? Monika smiles at them both. Then, with a wave, she exits the club room. Adorable. I really shouldn't have left that out. If Sayori catches on, she'll definitely tell Natsuki. It would get really awkward. Now, I wonder if there's a keyboard I could borrow from the music room. Oh? Origins of Monika's piano playing? The time for the next club meeting has already arrived. Monika and Yuri are the first to arrive. I'm so worried. Do you think Sayori's going to be able to bring Natsuki? Yes. How do you know? Well, she's Sayori. You know, you're right. Time slowly passes. Monika sits, then stands up to pace around, then sits again. Yuri's eyes don't move from her book. When you put an overfunctioner and an underfunctioner in the same room, it's pure comedy. Then the door finally opens. Sayori marches inside. I love the verbs that are given to her for her actions. She trots, she marches, she bounces. Behind her, Natsuki shuffles inside, nervously looking around the room. We're here! Welcome back. Monika, the club president, stands up and greets them with a smile. Sayori picks a desk and takes a seat. Natsuki sits closely next to her. Looking back and forth between the club members, Monika is struck with a nostalgic feeling. She would stand at the front of the clubroom just like this, struggling to picture just who may eventually be sitting before her. But imagination was never enough to predict just how unique and diverse each member would be, each with their own struggles, their own reasons for seeking the vision that Monica had admittedly so vaguely advertised. Seeking trust, understanding, respect. What new lessons will the future hold for the literature club? Don't all fall in love with the same boy. Realizing she's getting ahead of herself, Monica takes a deep breath and returns to the present. Okay, everyone. The literature club is starting. We have an activity plan for today. Monica turns around to face the chalkboard. On it, she writes manga in big letters. Today, we're going to learn from an expert about a unique form of literature, manga. Oh, come on. Isn't this kind of forced? I know you don't actually want to do this, so just... Monica shakes her head. Natsuki, this is the hardest part. After making it this far, it would be so easy to just smile and move on. But that's not enough. Not this time. I'm sorry. It was wrong of me not to take you seriously when you were kind enough to show interest in my club. I thought about it and I realized how biased I was against manga. It caused me to disrespect you, and I'm sorry. But I think you deserve to be able to share your passion with us. So, can I make it up to you? Well, thanks, but I know you're only doing this because Sayori told you to. Wait, that's not true. Monica planned this all by herself. I didn't even get a chance to talk to her. I was witness to that as well. This is the Literature Club. The Literature Club is a place where everyone gets to be themselves. We all have our own interests and our differences. It's my vision to let us freely express that. And it's my goal to respect everyone for them. Key element of an apology, be confident in yourself throughout it. Because that's the only way they're going to trust that you really mean it. Deliver it without compromise. So, I just want to learn about the things that make you happy. I think you deserve to share that joy, as much as everyone else does. Is that okay? Natsuki looks away and hesitates. But it's really dumb. The stuff I'm into. Monica smiles. She kneels in front of Natsuki's desk, looking her straight in the eye. She's killing it. If you like it, then it's not dumb. Oh, except for me. Sorry, you're not dumb either. What the heck? You guys are so weird. Fine, I'll show you some of my manga. Only because you admitted that it's literature after all. Natsuki stands up. Oh yeah, I didn't say this before, but I'm actually into writing too. I'm kind of a pro. But I didn't want you to like me just for that. Wow, really? I really did have you all wrong, Natsuki. Yeah, whatever. Today's not about that anyway, right? It's about manga, so I hope you're ready. A week has passed since Natsuki returned to the literature club. Very mature thing for Monica to do. I hoped that she spends some time reflecting on it. Since then, the club activities have been in full swing. Each club member had received a day in the spotlight to share all of their favorite kinds of literature with one another. As another meeting draws to a close, Monica approaches Natsuki on the way out. Natsuki, are you in a hurry home or anything? Me? Not particularly. Why? Oh, there was just something I wanted to show you, if you had a few minutes. Sure. What is it? It's not in here. Can you follow me to the music room? The music room? Why? Well, you'll see. Whoa! The music room is awesome! This is a pretty cool school. You know, I was thinking back. When the club was just me and Sayori, we would talk about how we envisioned the club to turn out. We cared a lot about being a place where people could express themselves. And she said something strange to me. She said that I was trying to make the club that I needed myself more than anyone. But I think it wasn't until you joined that I fully understood that. Because you really taught me a lot about myself, like things that I was probably always too stubborn to admit. Oh, come on. You can't mean that. I didn't even do anything. it's a couple of times now that Natsuki has struggled to receive sincerity. Again, I think it's easier with Sayori because there's very little pretense about her, but it's kind of a weird, unexpected thing for someone like Monica, this kind of strong personality, to do the things that she's been doing. Be assertive with an apology, admit that she's wrong, and now openly discuss something meaningful that Natsuki has contributed not only to the club, but her personal life. Like, that can be kind of strange to a lot of people, even off-putting. But I also think that Natsuki doesn't really have a lot of templates for that. In a similar way that Yuri didn't for succeeding in certain social ways. What positive figures have been around Natsuki and been sincere with her? This game called them her friends, and she'd probably say that they were as well, but that's probably her ceiling of what friendship is. Like, there are people who spend time with you, but the compromise is that they're kind of shitty to you. Like, she has not even glimpsed the transcendent nature of a true friend that someone like Sayori and Monica and eventually Yuri will present. So this is very new territory for her, I'm sure. I just brought a bunch of manga, and then I got fussy when I didn't have my way. It was really stupid of me to make such a big deal out of it. No, I honestly needed it. If you didn't express that you were hurt, I would have never realized that I did something wrong. Besides, your feelings are valid. They deserve to be heard and respected. It's just really hard to feel that way sometimes. You know, like, I really shouldn't care about what other people think in the first place. But when you're just criticized by everyone around you for being a certain way, it can get really hard to just brush it off. And it makes me start to feel like I'm the problem. Like I'm not doing enough to please everyone else. Am I being too entitled if I just want people to like me without having to hide a bunch of stuff about myself? I don't think I am. I just wish that sometimes people would try to appreciate me for who I actually am. As Monica listens, she recalls vividly how Natsuki's friends were treating her, and how naturally they did so. How long has she been fighting against that? Refusing to change for others? I can only wish I was as strong as you are, Natsuki. You're so honest with yourself. I'm always trying to come off as perfect for other people. Anytime there's a hint of contention, I just crumble. Wrong again. What is this then? Are you crumbling right now? No, in fact, you're flourishing. I will say there has been a lot of value demonstrated to responding to a negative event, though. Like, it was her guilt for how she treated Natsuki and the painfulness of seeing her treated that way by other people, the fear of losing the positive dynamic of the club and the respect of other people. Like, those were points of clarification for her values, which in many previous episodes before, I talked about as a very positive incentive for change. Monica did not realize that what she was doing was going against what might not have been known values, but she's discovering them now. And so she's taken these negative events, these faults of hers, these things she did wrong, and she's rectified them. But now is the moment to recognize that. Okay, you did make something positive out of your negative experiences. Everyone's going to have them. I would say that a great majority of what I would consider positive traits about myself are the direct result of feeling bad about the ways that I was. But those negative feelings aren't bad for you. In fact, they, if you pay attention to them, can direct you towards positive growth. However, you also need to, on the other end of that, give yourself the credit for successfully doing those things, recognizing the changes that you've been through. And I think that she is on her way there. Mostly to say she crumbles at first, but she's pretty good at picking herself back up. But it's thanks to you that I really started to think about this stuff. You really inspired me to start working on it. But well, like I said, I didn't even do anything. Don't be cute, Natsuki. Actually, continue being cute. However, just being yourself was enough of a gravitational force to pull Monica away from these old habits. You were just being yourself. That's all you needed to do. Also, there's something else. Monica takes a breath. The thing is, I might have read a little bit of your manga. What? What the heck? Why didn't you tell me? I'm sorry, I think I just felt like kind of embarrassed to admit it after I gave you such a hard time about it. I can't believe you, of all people, were reading manga behind my back. That's so funny. Yeah, well, I just flipped through one of them out of curiosity, but I ended up reading a whole bunch of it. But I mean, one of the characters was in a literature club. What are the chances, right? You were reading Parfait Girls? Wow, you have good taste. Just one volume. And I kind of picked it out randomly. Well, you have good intuition then. You have to tell me all your favorite parts. Well, I think it was some weird kind of fate. Because the character isn't just in a literature club. She also plays a piano. It's just weird because I've always wanted to learn piano. And she was like the perfect person that I always wish I was. If I just did what I wanted, instead of always second-guessing myself. Monica walks over to the piano and sits down. Oh. Oh my god, it's so effusively adorable. I always felt like I should only share the absolute best parts of myself. Parts that will impress people or make them like me more. But after you joined the club, I realized how self-destructive that mentality is. Yeah, no shit. We share things because we want to express ourselves. Sharing experiences allows us to share emotions. And I just felt like I wanted to show you this. Because if it wasn't for you, I never would have started playing. Hey, I think the credit for that goes to Parfait Girls, not me. No. Well, maybe it's true that Parfait Girls put the thought in my head. But it was still you who inspired me to keep practicing every day. Every day? Because, you know, you just make me feel like if I want to do something, I should just do it. I mean, I still haven't been practicing for very long, and I'm really not good at it yet, like, at all. But I wrote a song for the club, and I worked really, really hard on it. It doesn't have any words or anything, but, well, yeah. Oh. We love a happy Natsuki. So these are kind of the memories of the first couple of side stories. Meanwhile, Monica's like, I'm not very good at this. Perfectly plays. It's also like a really kind of complicated piano piece. I just love that. Yeah, I just threw this tawdry little thing together. It's a masterpiece. That's all. That was so good. It was? Girl. It kills me. It kills me how much of their own positive qualities they just are so blind to. Their talents, their character, their willingness to change. You know how fucking rare that is these days? My goodness. It seems like when you look out into the world, that the idea of changing yourself, especially from a point of recognizing wrongdoing, is like some sort of lethal poison for people's minds, that lots and lots and lots of people will never even try to do that. Are you kidding? You're like already a pro. Not even close. Does the song have a name? You said it was about the club, so yeah. It's called My Song, Your Note. Because everyone brings something so unique to the club. It's completely different from how I first imagined it, I think. But I was like such a selfish perfectionist. It shouldn't just be about me. It should be about everyone. Ooh, and she's hitting on exactly what I talked about, I think, in the last one. The people she's around are the perfect antidote to this like toxic perfectionism. Because trying harder doesn't always correlate with better results. Planning and structuring everything more doesn't always lead to more expected and predictable outcomes. Sometimes overdoing that stuff just frustrates the whole process and leaves you with less than you would have had if you just started doing something. I think she's finally starting to realize that. She was able to compose this amazing piece of music basically on a whim, not to impress people or to like seem like someone impressive. Why? Well, she wanted to make Natsuki feel respected. And I think she's gone well above and beyond what she needed to do that. And it's all of you who helped shape the club into what it is. I would never change that. You know, it's also reminding me that in my Who Has the Best and Worst Mental Health video for this series, I said that Monika does, mainly down to the underlying values she has, that at the end of the main game, it was a core value that she tapped into that made her realize this wasn't okay, what she did. And so she put things back. And in this story and in other places in the side stories, she's doing the exact same. Like, she'll make mistakes, you will, I will. It's okay. As long as you work on learning what your values are, and sometimes you only discover them after moments of conflict, and keep pointing yourself in the direction of them. Remember that values are not goals. You will never get what it means to be a good friend in its totality. You can only live in the direction of this. You will struggle along the way and get off track. I know I have. But you have to keep working on finding that value and recentering again. And then also give yourself the fucking credit for doing it and feel proud about it. I think that's really thoughtful. Kind of flattering. Kind of feel like I don't deserve this much validation. This is kind of more of a Monika episode than a Natsuki episode. Girl, we will get to that. It's coming in whatever next episode you have. I'm sure of it. I wasn't exactly very patient either when I first joined the club. It makes me feel like I should probably apologize too. I think I was just really fed up with a lot of things, and I got frustrated after not getting my way in the club. So, yeah. I really didn't mean to take it out on you. I was being really immature. If you get my stubborn butt to apologize, I guess you're doing something right. It's fine. I'm past it too. I think we're already even. Monika, literally, you wrote a song for the girl. You've got a little more than even with her. But it's really sweet that you were thinking about it. It takes a lot of maturity to reflect on that sort of thing. Oh, it's so easy for you to recognize Natsuki's maturity for that, but... Well, I wonder who I got it from. Oh, never mind. Oh, Natsuki, you can tell her. You can just tell Monica that you're inspired by her. It's okay. What are you afraid that she'll hug you? Well, anyway, we're even as long as you let me keep my manga in the club room. You did admit that it's a form of literature. You totally can't take that back now. You got me. The closet's all yours. I'll tell you what. I'll bring in a little something for the club tomorrow. I want to do something nice in return. What kind of a little something? Oh, you'll see. But I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's probably cupcakes. I hope it's cupcakes. The next club meeting ends up being a particularly tasty one. Ah, I love it so much. Maybe you think I'm a simple person for being so impressed by basic conflict resolution of mundane interpersonal issues, but well, I guess my justification for that, not that I need one, but I will give it anyways, is that I, as a therapist, deal with the big issues all the time, the traumatic stuff, and this game has certainly let us visit those subjects, but I don't think there's any less merit in discovering someone's assets and the things that can help them in those bigger moments, because they often come from small moments like this. I'd even say that minor issues, like what we've seen in some of these side stories, minor being that they're not like so consequential, really. They're spits and spats between like new friends and whatever else. They can set a more clear and simple precedent for recognizing a value lesson or discovering some part of yourself that you're proud of. It can be harder to do that with situations that are vastly more complicated. So not only is it worth talking about and having media that represents small conflict resolution, I don't find it lame at all to treat it like it is so exciting, because it is. I think that's, we've seen it so many times in this series already, mainly in the side stories, how easy it is to overlook a moment of development or growth because we just think of it as incidental. No, you should give these moments their proper dues and how they represent meaningful changes that start small, but with momentum, lead to really profound things over time. The incremental growth in someone like Sayori's self-esteem, in little victories with her friends, is so important for helping through those big moments of depression. Unfortunately, as people, it's more common for us to have sharp declines in mental health and very rarely sharp inclines, where we suddenly get a lot better. There are moments where we suddenly get a lot worse. And so you have to take the wins for what they are, even if they're small, and even if they center around mundane things, because in composition, they can not only help someone get out of those dark moments, but leave them in a better place to grow after them. So that is my justification for why I have spent, according to Steam, 50 hours playing Doki Doki Literature Club, and why I'm still talking about these anxious fucking girls. There's a lot of ways that you could judge me for doing that, and I don't care. Taking a bit of inspiration from Sayori, to put it simply, it's fun and it makes me feel good. I don't really need another reason than that. So, that settles another side story. Next up, we've got Balance. And it's with Sayori and Natsuki. I really am excited for that. So, I hope you look forward to it. As always, be good to yourselves, and I will see you very soon.